Good morning, Year 6, and welcome to your third learning journey lesson of the week. Yesterday, we looked at using different types of sentences to help us explain and to make our writing much more interesting and exciting, allowing us to link things together. And today we're going to look at apostrophes, because I know a lot of us have learned the two different types of apostrophes throughout the year, but I thought we could just do a whole thing on using apostrophes so we can use them correctly in our writing. So there are two types of apostrophes. And the first type of apostrophe we have are contractions. And I'm going to put on a short video to learn about contractions before we talk through them. So if you want to have a quick look, here is our first video.
Apostrophes are strange little creatures that can cause two words to merge. Oh, the apostrophe takes the place of the removed letters. This is how it contracts the two words together. Oh, it can't be used for everything, however. But by hunting out the right letters, the new word is shorter and faster to say. Most contractions follow a pattern, but not all contractions play by the rules. Some words don't join together so easily. They need a little rearranging. Just be aware of your surroundings, and they won't bite you in the...
Okay, so there's a short little funny video about apostrophes. And as we say, apostrophes can be used for contractions. Now, contractions are where we use an apostrophe instead of omitted letters. So that means left out letters when you're joining words together. So you can join two words together using an apostrophe and not have to write all the letters. For example, you can join the words you and are together, and it will make the word your with your apostrophe, and it stands for you are. And I know that actually probably people can come up with lots of good examples. So one example I could come up with is should not would equal shouldn't, and I've put those words together. And then we could do cannot equals can't. Or we could do I will equals I'll. I have equals I've. And as you can see, for all of these, the apostrophe has put both the words together and then taken the place of some of the omitted letters. So here, the apostrophe is taking the place of the W and the I for I will, and it says I'll. So we can use apostrophes for contractions, and they help us to put two words together or to join words together. And as it says, contract means to make smaller, so to make the word smaller or to make the word smaller. Then we've got something called apostrophes for possession, and I've got another video, short video for us to watch, for apostrophes for possession, because these apostrophes are very different. So I would like you to look at this video now.
The apostrophe can be used to show who things belong to. If an item belongs to something, the apostrophe shows us who by sitting at the end of the noun. Haha! If that noun doesn't end in S, the apostrophe brings one with it. This shows the crown belongs to the magpie. Usually, if a noun already ends in S, then the apostrophe just brings itself. This shows that Mittens thinks the magpie belongs to her. Plural nouns work in a similar way, like when the whole pack of dogs are trying to own Mittens. And when two people own something, one apostrophe after the second name is enough to show they both own it.
Okay, that's very good. That was talking about apostrophes for possession. So an apostrophe can be used to show that one thing belongs to or is connected to something else. And it's called, as we say, a possessive apostrophe, or an apostrophe for showing possession. And yeah, that basically means that when we say the cat's tail was fluffy, the cat's has an apostrophe here because whose tail are we talking about? That's right, we're talking about the cat's tail. Here, Katie's cat was naughty. Well, here it says Katie's cat because who does the cat belong to? Well, the cat belongs to Katie. Here we've got the brothers' feet were muddy. And here this, as we know, brothers is a plural possessive. So rather than on a singular possessive apostrophe, where the apostrophe goes between the final letter of the noun and then the S, this apostrophe goes after the S because brothers is plural, and we're talking about multiple people whose feet were muddy. And yet, that's right, it's the brothers' feet, so the feet belong to the brothers. And finally, the children's toys were broken. So here we're talking about the children's toys, and their toys were broken. Okay, so it's the toys belong to the children. Here then, we have discussed the two types of apostrophe for possession. We know, and for contraction, sorry, two types of apostrophe overall. There's one for contraction and one for possession. And we've talked about the two places an apostrophe can go if we're talking about the plural of so many people, or if the apostrophe goes on the end of a noun and then it brings along the S. If we're then thinking about using apostrophes in our writing, I've put up some examples for you here. And I thought we could discuss them as a group. So here, you've, this apostrophe is actually a contraction. It stands for you have on number A. On number B, the night's getting on. So the night's is also a contraction. It stands for the night is getting on. So nights stands for night is. Here for on question C, Bilbo's hand. That's a possessive apostrophe because the hand belongs to Bilbo. That's right. And there are some more I've put on here. So what I want you to do is I want you to write down A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and H. And then I want you to tell me if the apostrophe is plural, plural possessive, or a contraction. So stop the video now and have a go at that. And please remember to do this in your learning journey. So pause the video and have a go. Now that you've paused the video and had a go, we're going to move on to our final task for today. So as you can see, apostrophes for contraction, they explain why apostrophes are used for contraction, and we've given some examples. And then apostrophes for possession, I want you to explain why we use apostrophes for possession. And to do that, I want you to create a page in your book to explain your learning today. In the centre, you're going to have apostrophes. Then off that, you're going to have apostrophes for possession. So explain why the apostrophe is used. Write down some examples. Can you write down some different places where the apostrophe might go? So, for example, plural possessive, the apostrophe goes right on the end of the word. Whereas a singular example, the apostrophe goes between the noun and the S. And then I want you to create another side on your book of apostrophes for contraction. So I want you to give, why do we use apostrophes for a contraction? We've talked about that today, so I want you to tell me in your book. And then I also want you to write down lots of amazing examples. Okay? Also, if you're feeling really good, could you tell me maybe when we might use apostrophes for contraction, in what kind of writing? Remember, we didn't use them in our letters to Exeter City Council earlier in the year because it was a piece of formal writing. So there's a clue. When might we then use apostrophes? Good luck, and I can't wait to see the page you create in your book.